30A is arguably one of the most beautiful areas on the Emerald Coast and possibly even in the United States, which makes it one of the most hottest tourist destinations and most sought after places to live pretty much anywhere. With that being said, a lot of people don't actually know how expensive it actually is to live there. So today we're going to talk about that. So let's get into it. Hey everyone, Garret O'Leary here with the O'Leary Brothers team here at Lead Realty. Thank you for clicking on this video. I surely do appreciate it, but welcome back for another video on our channel. And again, if you aren't familiar with our channel, we are a real estate team that likes to talk about the Emerald Coast so you know everything about it if you want to live here or move here in the near future. It's a great place to live, so I highly recommend checking out all our videos. But like I said, we're gonna be talking about 30A today. Now, if you haven't been following the channel, I've been doing a short series that I'm gonna continue to do, talking about all the towns and all the small beach areas that are on 30A and what make them so awesome, and you can kind of get familiar with the area. So in today's video, again, we're gonna talk about what it actually takes to live there and how much it's gonna cost for housing and everything related to the cost of living. So let's jump straight into the video. As always, let's kind of kick off with talking about what 30A is, where it's located, and why is it kind of so popular. It is a stretch of road that follows the coast, and it's got some incredible views. Now, it starts, if you're looking for a start point and end point, it's gonna be from Santa Rosa Beach all the way to Inlet Beach. And again, depending on who you ask, you might include a few towns, beyond or, inside. Just, it doesn't particularly matter. A good starting point, Santa Rosa Beach, ending point, Inlet Beach. Now, what makes it so popular is that it's arguably some of the best views on the Emerald Coast in its entirety. And again, I would argue in the nation, potentially in the world, it's absolutely gorgeous. You really have to see it to believe it. But 30A is known to be kind of an affluent area, lots of, multi-million-dollar beach homes, awesome, vacation spots. I mean, the beaches have the white sand, you have the emerald green and crystal clear waters. It is an absolutely gorgeous area to be. All of the entertainment there is just, it's geared around being fun and just absolutely gorgeous. And that's why a lot of people love it. Now, something that I haven't really touched on in any of my videos about 30A is that it's kind of separated into two distinct sections. Now, it's sort of arbitrary. You're not gonna really need this bit of information, but I wanna share it just cause. So everything from Santa Rosa Beach all the way to Grayton Beach would be considered 30A West End or just West End. Now, why that distinction is at Grayton Beach is it kind of just separates it in half. So everything from Grayton Beach all the way to Inlet Beach is gonna be East End, so everything east of that. Again, it's just a distinction. You're not really gonna need to know this information. It's not like someone's gonna grill you on, why are you not staying in East End or West End? It's just kind of a distinction that you can have if you wanna be, very specific on maybe where you're staying, where you're moving to, and things like that. Because obviously, it's a 20-mile stretch of road. If you just say 30A, there's a lot of different places you could be. Now, if you say West End or East End, you're just kind of narrowing down where you're staying, where you're living. But again, it's a very arbitrary distinction. You don't really need it. It's not vital to really any bit of information. It's just extra information if you want it. Now, let's get on to the real important stuff, and that is the cost of living. Now, you might be surprised when I say that the cost of living is actually relatively similar to a lot of areas on the Emerald Coast, if and only if you remove the cost of housing, because that's going to be the biggest factor, and I mean significantly, massive factor on what changes the cost of living in 30A compared to the rest of the Emerald Coast. If you exclude the cost of housing, all the expenditures you make right now are going to be relatively the same and maybe what you're used to paying where you live right now. Now, I will say the only things that really do change and maybe go up are going to be utilities for kind of obvious reasons and what's going on in the world. You have groceries and, of course, entertainment options, some entertainment options, which mostly have to do with going out to eat in the local areas of 30A. Beyond that, the other expenditures like maintaining your vehicle and getting services done for it are going to be close to that national average of what you probably pay right now, depending on where you're moving from, will be the same. Some of the entertainment options, especially, beyond just going out to eat, if you're looking for movies, stuff like that, all going to be relatively the same, going shopping. Unless you're going to the fine shopping areas that are, on the Emerald Coast, everything else is going to be probably what you expect to pay where you are right now. It's going to be the same here. So in reality, again, if you exclude housing, 30A and most of the Emerald Coast is actually going to be relatively affordable. A lot of the things are right around that national average and even slightly below with, again, servicing your vehicles, health and service or health services, kind of like that, all going to be right around that national average, if not slightly below. So it's still a very affordable place to be if you exclude housing. With that being said, let's segue into talking about housing. Again, living in 30A is not cheap. As you could probably expect, living in one of the most beautiful areas in the nation doesn't come as an inexpensive commodity. With the beauty comes a very hefty price tag. Now, with that being said, let me throw some statistics at you. 30A's average list price is $2.15 million and its average sold price is $1.86 million. But I would expect to pay around $747 per square foot if you're looking to move to 30A. Now that you have that little bit of information, let me actually throw you the median prices because I think they're more of an accurate representation of what you'd actually pay if you wanted to move to the area. So the median list price for homes on 30A is $1.375 million and the median sold price is $1.2 million. Obviously, that is a very significant change from the average. And again, you're considering some of the houses that are on the market that have, 5,000 and upwards square footage, just absolutely gorgeous homes that are, $24 million that do bring that average up. The median list price, I would say, is a much more fair representation of what someone would expect to pay if they're looking for just a typical beach home in one of the more affluent and most beautiful areas on the Emerald Coast. And as a quick sidebar, this data was gathered from the MLS and is including pending, sold, and active listings on the market over the last 12 months, so it is up to date. But let's not stop there. Let's separate it into the West End and the East End just to give you a better idea of the housing costs for those distinct areas. So starting from the West End, the average list price of homes is $1.57 million with the average sold price at $1.37 million. And moving on to the median prices, the median list price is $1.1 million and the median sold price is $990,000. So a bargain in my opinion. Hopping over to the East End, the average list price is $2.43 million and the average sold price is $2.12 million. As for the median list price of homes in the East End of 30A, there is a median list price of $1.6 million and a median sold price of $1.4 million. It's always a little surprising to hear how significantly more expensive the East End is compared to the West End. It's just how it is. I would say it's a lot more of an exclusive area to be on the East End. There's a lot less of a development compared to the West End. So you do have those exorbitant prices on the East End instead of the West End. But I would say if you were looking for opportunity, the West End does have, again, lower prices, so you could probably find your dream home, your dream beach home, investment opportunities, or just a great single family home, more likely in the West End. But that is all I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a better idea of the cost of living in 30A, both West End and East End. And if you are thinking about moving to 30A, what your budget is, or if you need to start saving, because you might need a few extra pennies to get that dream beach house. But again, my name is Garrett with the O'Leary Brothers team. If you are looking for information on moving to 30A or to the Emerald Coast in general, I'd be happy to help. If you have any questions specifically about areas on 30A, go ahead and drop those in the comments. I'll try to answer them, or maybe even do a video specifically talking about those areas, maybe a development, whatever it is, just drop them in the comments. And again, if you need help, answer any questions, give us a call, send us a text, or shoot us an email. I'll leave that contact information right here. But as always, again, Garrett with the O'Leary Brothers team here at Lead Realty, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.